Today's students are tomorrow's front line. Today's visionaries will become tomorrow's leaders. And today's research will discover tomorrow's solutions. For ourselves, for others, and for our world. Southern Cross University, transforming tomorrow.
G'day and welcome to the National Virtual Expo and this session on what's uni all about anyway. I'm your host for this session, Rob Malicki. I'm coming to you today from Garigal Land in Sydney. And I'm joined by performer, actress, musician, general legend, Jemima Dunn, live from London. Jemima, thanks for joining me at the National Virtual Expo.
Thank you so much, Rob. It's lovely to chat with you as always.
It's super good to have you here, but I must admit, what time is it in London right now?
You don't want to know. It's currently 5 in the morning. You're lucky I like talking to you, but it's always good to be here, so no worries about that. I'll get some sleep later.
You're a great friend, and I really appreciate you stepping up to do this for people Australia-wide.
Yeah.
Because when I was thinking about the National Virtual Expo and I was thinking about university, trying to decide what to do after school, and I was thinking, who could I get to talk to that's been through a really unique experience, that's really experienced different types of education, that's done interesting things both in class and outside of class, and is now doing sort of very cool stuff. And you're the person that came to mind. So thanks for agreeing to do this.
Thank you so much. That's lovely. I love that I'm the person who came to mind when you thought of that. Makes me feel good.
Well, maybe we start. Where are you right now? So I've obviously given away that you're in London, but and we're going to get to the university stuff and what uni's all about in a moment. But let's just start with where you are right now.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm in London. I was based in India for a pretty long time, and I still go there because I have friends and my partner's based there. But I realized career-wise, it's probably a lot better for me to be in the UK. And luckily, my father is from the UK, so I have a passport, which means I can be here. Fantastic. So I'm currently just setting myself up. I've only been here about a month. So obviously I did a theatre degree, so I'm here to chase up opportunities in the arts. I am currently reaching out to agents and I'm auditioning for theatre plays, and I'm just trying to get amongst it basically because London is such a vibrant place for the arts, for theatre and for film. So hopefully over the next year I'll be building up quite a profile. Fingers crossed.
Yeah, I love it. I'm a massive fan of your work. Like I see your stuff online and you're always doing new and interesting and different things. And so just for those people who are watching along at home, actually a couple of things to start with. We do have a live chat going. So wherever that is, if you're watching on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, it's somewhere, just drop your chat in. If we don't get to it during this session, then we will answer every question via the Choosing a Uni Discord, details in the description down below. Amazing. And for parents, there's a Facebook group for you. So whether you've got a specific question for Jemima, you're interested about a particular uni, something general about uni, whatever, drop it in and every question will get an answer. But let's back up a little bit. Oh, I just want to say as well, like,
Mm.
okay, so Jemima, your background's of course in theatre,
Mhm.
but regardless of what background you are, if you're interested in doing engineering or science or everything, this session is still for you. We're going to be talking very broadly about uni life.
Mhm.
So let's go there. Where did uni life start for you, Jemima?
Amazing. I actually, it wasn't the path that I necessarily wanted when I started uni. I think obviously there's the pressure at the end of the year to get the uni you want, and I'm sure everyone's feeling that at the moment. Um, I very much wanted to start drama school straight away, which means auditioning at the end of the year. Um, I was a little bit naive, I must say, at the end of high school, and I thought, you know what, there's two universities I want to go to, I'll audition for both. And they were both like top tier drama universities, and I thought, you know what, I'll get into one of them. And that was a little bit naive of me. And not that you shouldn't go for, what you want to do, but I think you do need to be a little bit realistic about what your options are. Um, so I didn't get into either of those universities, and I felt completely lost. But then, obviously, I'm not sure if this is across the board in Australia, but in Victoria we get an ATAR. Is that a thing across the board? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's valid for 1 year. So I don't want like people get very pressured to like get an amazing ATAR and like that's your only path to uni, and it's just not true. But at this time, I didn't have any other options apart from using my ATAR to get into a university. So luckily, I got a pretty decent one. I got a good score, and so I decided to go to Monash to do a general arts degree. And I have absolutely no regrets about that. It was something where I felt like, you know what, I want to go to university. I'll just go to one that I didn't necessarily think I would have wanted to go to, but it's an opportunity to further my learning and to make friends and to just start my journey outside of high school. Um, I had a pretty good time at Monash, I would say. It wasn't like the path that I wanted to go down, but it was. I got to go on a Monash camp and meet a lot of cool people, and I got to make a lot of friends, and I got to go to the traditional tutorials and like all those classes that I wouldn't have gone to if I'd gone straight into a drama school. So that was a really cool experience for me. But after 6 months, I decided, you know what? I actually don't want to be in a regular university. I want to go to drama school. That was just something that was not a compromise for me. And so I, to my mum's despair, she was very worried about me at the time. She's fine now. But like at the time, she was like, what are you going to do if you leave university? And I said, I'm going to re-audition at the end of the year. I want to go to drama school. I don't want to spend another 6 months here doing something that I don't necessarily feel passionate about. So I ended up leaving Monash after 6 months. And I trained to become a swim teacher so that I could make some money and save up before I did auditions for the following year. And at the end of that year, luckily, I got accepted into Fed Uni, Federation University in Ballarat. And I went there for music theatre, which was at the time a big dream for me. I was very into music theatre. It was something that I felt pretty sure about. And then I did 6 months of music theatre. And we were pretty, like, all of the cohorts kind of mixed, like the actors, the music theatre students, the musicians. And I felt like a real pull towards acting. And so in the middle of the year, I actually asked my my teachers, I said, do you mind if I re-audition to join the acting group? I really feel that I want to be a part of this. And luckily they let me, and so I re-auditioned. I picked a couple of monologues and I re-auditioned, and they said, yes, we'd be happy to have you. And so luckily I got to join the acting group for the next 6 months. And then, of course, because I'm jumping around a lot in the story, what happened next? I re-auditioned at the end of the year because I felt that I wanted I wanted a bit more of an adventure, because I'd lived in Victoria my whole life at this point, and I felt like, you know what, I would love to attend a uni outside of my home state. So I auditioned for WAPA, the Western Australian Academy of Performing Arts, which is, of course, based in Perth. And this again was like a story of like, I didn't necessarily get what I wanted, but it led me to some amazing things. I auditioned, I wanted to be in the acting cohort, but there was a relatively new bachelor called the Bachelor of Performing Arts, where you major in performance making. So you do devising and directing and writing as well as acting. And I felt like, you know what, I'll give that a go. And so I auditioned, they made me an offer, and it was like, to the last point, I was like, I'm not sure if this is something for me, but I did it. I was like, it's an adventure. I'm going to do it. I'm going to go there and I'm going to give it a go. And I'm so glad I did, because that again led me to an opportunity where I got to go on a, as you know, New Colombo Plan scholarship and study at a school in Singapore called the Intercultural Theatre Institute. And that was life-changing. So my journey was very much not traditional. It wasn't very much from A to B, but it was the right path for me. And I think that is what's so cool about uni, is like, you don't know what's going to happen until you give it a go. And you really just need to put yourself out there and start.
I love this. Like, I love your story. It's so good, right? Because you know it now and I know it. But people who are kind of going into this for the first time don't realize to what extent that I like to say the path is behind you. You know, when we're moving forward, we don't know where we're going. You're just opening a door. You're like, oh, let's go through and try this thing. You go through, maybe it's for you, maybe it's not. You back out, you try another door. But it's only in retrospect, you look back and you're like, oh, yeah, all of that kind of was pretty obvious and led me to where I am now.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I think
And what I love,
you have to kind of just follow that path and don't hate yourself for like giving up on things. Like often giving up is like, yeah, one door closing and then another door opening, for sure.
yeah, there is no path in front of you. In fact, it's like it's okay to completely change your mind about what degree you study. It's okay to change universities. It's okay to change states. And who knows, one day that might lead you to be sitting in London at 5 o'clock in the morning talking to someone back home in Australia.
What a win. It's exactly where you want to be.
This is awesome. So in the macro, I love how we've started like that. In the macro, you don't have to have it all figured out.
No.
You don't even really need to have the first step figured out. You can take a gap year.
Yes.
You can start in a general degree and then try some stuff until you find something that you enjoy. You don't have to have anything figured out. In fact, you can become a swim coach for a while before you
Make
get
some
to
money,
audition
why
for the
not?
thing that you really want. That's totally okay.
Yeah, no, that was something I actually really wanted to speak to when I was thinking about our chat. I thought, like, people feel so pressured in high school to have their life laid out for them, right? To be like, okay, I know exactly what I want to be and what I want to do. And it's just not fair. I mean, like, high school is such a, there's so many boundaries, and like, you don't actually get a chance to find your independence and find your passions. And so people need to know that there's options, after high school to have a gap year and get some, life experience outside of that structure. And also, be free to start a general degree if you have like an inkling about what you want to do, but you don't really, you're not fully committed, then do it. And, and like the worst thing that can happen is, okay, it leads you to a different, subject or a different topic that you want to explore. And that's not even a bad thing. You know what I mean?
Completely.
Yeah.
To me, I call it the start of the second quarter. The first quarter of your life really is about other people. It's about your parents. It's about school telling you what to do. You get to, the second quarter and suddenly it's about you for the very first time. The call is all on you. And so you're starting from scratch. You can't have it all figured out.
No.
It's completely normal to make a whole bunch of mistakes, to try stuff, to change. And the more we encourage people to do that, I think the happier humans we're going to end up on this planet.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, people we're humans, right? So it's like to have an absolutely straight path is just not realistic. And I think that the less pressure we put on people to pursue something, the more they're going to feel freedom and excitement to go and pursue something. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? I'm going to stop finishing my sentence with that. You know what I mean? I feel like you do.
I do know. I do know what you mean. To me, and the one thing I'm and maybe we put a little stop here after this. But the one thing that really stands out in your story, Jemima, is that you didn't settle. You didn't start a degree and then be like, oh, I'm not enjoying this. I've already done 6 months or 12 months. I'm just gonna finish it.
Mm.
Like you actually made, and for a lot of people, that's a massive hard call, but it's always the right call
Yes.
is to do what your intuition tells you is right.
Mhm.
And clearly that's something I think you've done really well.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Awesome. So how about we dive into
Mhm.
so much to break down in your story. So let's go back to that first experience going into arts at Monash. And we've talked about you mentioned a few things in there that I'd like to sort of explain to people. So
Mhm.
maybe we just start off by talking about like what's it like to actually study at uni. We can get through back to the to WAPA, the West Australian Academy of Performing Arts, later on in terms of those kind of degrees that are really practical, where you're doing a lot of workshops and stuff like that. But let's jump into like traditional campus like Monash. What kind of like the experiences like at university?
Absolutely. I think I don't know how to explain. It was pretty cool for me because I wasn't expecting a traditional approach to uni, I think. But it was really, I enjoy structure, and I think people going straight from high school will enjoy that structure as well. The main difference is that you have a lot more independence in university, right? Like you're not going to get chased up about things, about assignments, about group projects. You really have to be the leader and motivate yourself in those situations. So it's kind of like a similar structure to high school where you'll have classes, or you'll have tutorials where you discuss subjects. You'll have lectures where you get to mull on all the information on your course, and then you actually have to take initiative from there. And so I think the main difference for me starting straight out of high school was, okay, I still have things that I need to show up to and things that I need to take responsibility learning, but I have to, on top of that, motivate myself to submit things and do my best at things, because you're not going to get that feedback, I think, from university. It's something like you have to take responsibility for your learning a lot more than in high school. That was my experience.
I think that's right. And in terms of those different types of classes, every degree is different. You might have in-person lecture. It depends on which uni you go to.
Exactly.
Some universities, like you go to lectures, and you might be in big first year class with hundreds and hundreds of people in a lecture theatre. Lecturer stands up the front and talks at you. Other ones, small universities. It might be a small class size with 20 people, or
Absolutely.
you might be doing it online.
Mm.
So some of that content, is like being delivered at you.
Mm.
Then you've got like tutorials. Tutorials are like those kind of small interactive classes that you might have. And then you might have practical elements. So if you're doing sciences, you might be in a laboratory. If you're doing performing arts, I imagine you're doing a lot of studio work,
Mm.
rehearsals, things like that. Do you want to
Yeah.
talk to that a little bit from your experience over in Western Australia?
Absolutely, yeah. So that it's quite funny because the way I work is probably opposite to how drama schools work. I enjoy structure. So I enjoy boundaries to play within, but at drama school it's kind of like you're given all this information and you're given projects and you have to roll with it. Like I remember I struggled when I was studying overseas in Singapore because like a lot of people were taking the chance to travel and have fun on weekends, whereas like I was constantly at school on weekends because for me there was no boundary, right? There was like you just have to rehearse until you feel it's good, and it's never going to be perfect, right? So like that was a good learning experience for me. Whereas I think in like traditional uni settings, you have those boundaries. You know what I mean? Like you'll have like this is the format of what you need to submit or present, and this is all the information you're going to need to pull from during that period. I think like now that you've spoken about like lectures being delivered in different ways, I'll probably touch on that as well. I would recommend going in person if you can, if that's available to you. Whether it's a small group, a big group, I just think online lectures, I just personally, I will not pay full attention if I'm watching it online because there's no accountability, right? It's like I'll just get distracted, and it's not that it's not interesting, but like you don't have that accountability of like I need to be present, I need to be listening, I need to be aware of what's happening. So if you can go in person, please go in person, do it for your sake. And yeah,
Doesn't matter how good the academic is, they'll never be as compelling as a cat riding on a robotic vacuum cleaner. I'm just saying. It's just true.
Love that that's what you went to. You know what you've been watching? Yeah, exactly. Well, that's the thing. Like, we're in
Not
the
giving
age.
anything away.
We're in the age of devices. I mean, people will constantly have access
Yeah.
to TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, like anything that will present itself as more interesting than the person in front of you, which is something that a live lecture is like way more what's it called, beneficial for, because you need to
Engaging, yeah.
hold yourself accountable. Yeah. You need to engage. Like, it is I'll go back to the responsibility. Like, it is on you to engage, because people are not going to follow you up. Like, in high school, you'll have teachers, I think, keeping you in line and keeping you motivated and making sure that you're not going to fall behind. University, you're there because you want to be there, right? Like, you've put yourself forward, you've applied. I think they expect you to take initiative, to ask for help when you need it, which of course they're happy to provide, but they're not going to chase you up if you fall behind, because it is your responsibility, I think, to be on top of it and to ask for assistance, for sure.
Yeah. People, right? So, when you're in school, you kind of end up, you probably, most people end up just in a group of some sort. Maybe it's a small group, maybe they're a bit, they might be by themselves, maybe they're in a big group. But university is very different, isn't it, in terms of those kind of social interactions that you have with other people.
Absolutely. And I think, I was thinking about this as well. Like, socially, it can be a massive pressure going to university. So I would recommend, I went on a Monash camp before I started classes, and that was massive for me. It was like, and I like, honestly, I don't have anyone to keep in touch with from Monash, but that was years ago, like, so it's fine. It's just the experience of like getting a chance to meet people from different backgrounds who have all come to study the same thing, or even study different degrees but at the same university with the same goal, the same vision as you. I think it's so important to get that chance to be in conversation with those people and also have fun. Like, these camps, we played what's that? It's like Quidditch in Harry Potter.
Yep.
Yeah, we played like Quidditch, where like we were running around with like broomsticks, and I got hit like directly in the nose with one of the balls at that camp, which was hilarious because like I didn't actually mean to start crying, but like the reaction, because it's a sinus, like I just immediately just started bawling, and I was like, wow, great first impression. But the main thing is, it's like, it's about fun, like they want you to have fun, they want you to socialize. It doesn't mean you have to meet your people forever, but it's people you're going to see on campus, it's people you're going to have classes and tutorials with. It's like, it is important, I think, to put yourself out there socially and give yourself the best shot at feeling comfortable and happy on campus, for sure.
So let's hone in on that, because not every university does a camp like Monash. That's a fantastic initiative by Monash. Some unis do that sort of stuff, but every uni absolutely does orientation.
Yes.
And that's just like absolutely essential to get there, unless you can't, of course, but you got to get there if you can, and get into as much as you can at orientation, because it just makes you feel comfortable. And orientation takes different forms at different universities, but quite often there'll be like different sorts of lectures. You'll have days where there's stands on campus, there's activities, there's games like what you've been talking about, social events. Just go in there and do as much as you can, would be the advice that I would have.
Absolutely.
Because you never know who you're going to meet. And at very minimum, you're going to get to explore the surroundings, the place where you're going to be spending time, and start to get comfortable. Like, you get this sort of sense of ownership over it. And that just is going to help once you actually start your classes.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with that. I think orientation is one of the chances to grab onto something that will help you feel like happy and grounded during your time at university. They have a lot of clubs, I think, that they promote at orientations, from my knowledge. That's also really cool. I mean, go and involve yourself in a club. Usually they're free, or they're like very cheap to join, so that you can actually you can be a part of something that aligns with you, because there's so many different clubs, you know what I mean? There's clubs, for different groups of people who feel passionate about religion, or feel passionate about let's say Harry Potter, just things that you can actually jump into and be like, you know what, I have a group of people who also feel passionate about what I feel passionate about. And that's so important to have when you first start university.
I joined the mountaineering club when I started uni. I was in Sydney.
That seems just like you.
Ain't no mountaineering going on in Sydney. But it seemed like a great idea. Paid my $5, went a lot,
$5,
and
yeah.
never heard anything from the Mountaineering Society. But I thought it was a great idea. But then I did get involved in other clubs and societies. Go figure, hat. Bushwalking.
Yes.
I ended up being massively involved in that. And I think one of the things that people don't realise about the social scene at uni is just how expansive that clubs and societies network is at most institutions. Like you can really find your tribe in these places.
Absolutely.
And clubs and societies aren't just about fun. It's about fun. Like you want to have fun, meet people. Like, yeah, it's 100% about that.
Yeah.
But it's also an opportunity for you to get involved. So if you're a bit of a doer, you like to create things, take the initiative and set things up, you can get involved in a club and society and take on like a leadership role.
Absolutely.
That looks freaking brilliant on a resume.
Yes.
It's so good.
Yeah.
You can start a club. I started a club. I started the Student Exchange Club at Macquarie Uni back in 1999.
How cool.
Still going, mind you.
What is it about?
Yeah. It was for students that had been over on exchange and that were coming on exchange. We called it Club X.
Love
So
that.
Club X was just brilliant. Club X it's basically a social club. Like we just hang out. You'd take, so the students who'd been on exchange would, get involved with the students coming to Macquarie on exchange. We'd take them on trips around the city, organise all sorts of sort of social activities. It was great fun. And you know what? In the end, that was one that got me my first job. It wasn't my degree, science. It was the fact that I set up and ran a club
Yeah.
that actually led me to sitting where I am right now. That's wild.
What a story. That's crazy. Yeah, well that's
nuts.
exactly it, right? Like it's about taking initiative personally as well as with your education. I think as impressive as it is to say like, okay, I've got this kind of degree, like I've got a master's in this, fantastic, and that will be useful. But I think the main thing to know is that degrees aren't everything, right? Like, I mean, people find a way to do what they love regardless. But the point of a degree is the learning, right? Like, obviously you get the certificate at the end and that's amazing. It's amazing to have a qualification, but it's what you did during that time. And I think that's a perfect example because you're going to go out into the world and say, this is who I am, and it's not just going to be a piece of paper. It's going to say, I did this while I was at uni because this made me feel good about myself. This made me feel passionate. This made me connect with people that I wouldn't have connected with otherwise. And that's so amazing.
You say that, Jemima, that's so true. Getting a job is it's a human interaction. We think that it's about having a resume and having a qualification and then that matches something and boom, we've got a job. But in fact, it's a purely human interaction between you and me talking about what's required in this role and seeing if we'll get along.
Absolutely. Oh, absolutely. And I think the thing is with degrees, it's like a lot of people are getting them, right? And so it's like, okay, you're not going to be against people who don't have a degree. You're going to be against people who have something else to bring to the table, right? And that has to be who you are. That has to be what you care about and why you want to be a part of that organization or that company. And so you need to keep in mind, while it's great to have a degree, the most important thing is like, who are you and what do you bring to this organization that you care so much about? For sure.
Let's talk about moving for uni for a moment, because you've obviously had a number of different experiences going down to Fed Uni and then moving out west to Perth.
Yeah.
Can you talk me through what that's like as an experience? Because there are going to be a lot of people who'll be watching this who might be considering this. So talk me through the experience and maybe any advice for people that you might have as, if they're considering it.
Absolutely. Like there's two things.
You just winged it, didn't you?
I know. I did. It's scary. It is scary as hell moving away for the first time. And, like whether you're moving somewhere in the same state, maybe like, I went to Ballarat for the first time and that's like 2 hours away from like a 2-hour drive from my home in Frankston. But that that was still a big thing, right? It was like I didn't get to see my family. Like I could see them on the weekends, like let's be honest. But it was still like throughout the week I was having to deal with being away from home, and that can get really lonely and scary. And that's that is the main point of socialization, I think. Like, I don't want people to feel like you have to find your tribe forever. I think it is such a pressure to be like, it's the same as high school, right? Like, oh, my high school friends are forever. You will be in someone's life if they are, a right fit for you and if you both hold each other up. I don't want people to feel like you have to like meet people and solidify friendships. Like, the main part of like socializing is you're there at that point in time, and other people are going to want friends, and you're going to want friends, and like having that opportunity to be social with people is so important. And it's just grounding. Like, it can be really scary being away from home, but if you have people that you hang out, even like casual things, right? You hang out with, someone has like a house party, or you go for a coffee, after classes or something. Just like, don't put the pressure on like this needs to be, a person in my life forever. It's like, this person is here at the same time as me. We're both away from home potentially. Maybe they're not, who knows? But we are both in the same boat. Let's just be in it together, and see what happens. And if you make lifelong friendships, amazing. And if you don't, then no pressure, like, it is just for that point in time where you want a community, because community is so important. I think personally, like, Fed Uni, I met some pretty cool people, and that was because I went to like the like school, like the uni parties, because a lot of them were like, especially in the arts, like it happened a lot at WAPA, like people will fundraise for their classes by running parties, and that was such a cool like way of like merging different courses, right? Like, you'd see all the other creatives, and you might not necessarily get along with all the people in your class, like your immediate class, but you'll find other people that are also in like a similar strain who you do get along with. And and like that's something that's really important to keep in mind, is you might not necessarily find your tribe in your immediate group, your immediate like tutorial.
Yeah.
But be open to outside of that, be open to other people who are also here finding their way, and just put yourself in situations where you're open socially. That's my advice.
I think that's very true. We have this perception that university, it's like the American college movie thing, right? Is that the extroverts, they're all off, they're partying all the time, and the beautiful girl is, getting together the gorgeous guy and this kind of stuff. And yeah, that's like 1%,
Yeah,
right?
for sure.
And then for the rest of us mere mortals, like, we're looking for our place. So, but the thing I love about universities, and this is one of the reasons I'm so passionate about higher education, is that you have this incredible diversity. Your people are there. Believe that your people are there. Whether you're
Absolutely.
a geek about Star Wars, or you're into your mathematics and sciences, or whether you're a creative, like, your people are there, and you will find them if you go looking for them. So introvert, extrovert, doesn't matter. Your
Totally.
people are there. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a numbers game. I think like there's so many people who go to uni each year. It's like, you don't need to feel let down if, people in your immediate space are not for you. You will find them. And that's a lot about clubs, right? That's a lot about like joining communities that feel passionate about the same thing, get excited about, like, a lot of it's excitement, right? Like, find people who feel excited about the same things. You will probably have a really great time together because you have things to talk about, right? Like, you have the same passions, and you're both in the same boat, at university, where you both just want to enjoy your time there and feel at ease. And so, yeah, just like without pressure, just go out and be social in whichever way and capacity that you feel comfortable, and opportunities that arise, take them up. Like, the worst that can happen is, okay, I walk away without a friend, and that's okay. But then, like, 9 out of 10 times you will meet someone that you have a nice conversation with and feel like, okay, this could be someone that I can, go through uni with. And that's a really cool thing.
Yeah. Can I just speak directly to the introverts? They're going to be people who are watching this who are like pure
Absolutely.
introverts.
Yeah.
Like, you're not broken. You're like a
No.
representative of a huge part of the population, massive part of the
Absolutely.
population, including at university. So ignore all these kind of stereotypes that you've seen, on your phone or whatever. Like, there are those people out there, and if you're anxious about university and finding your people, settling into a social life, universities run like unlimited numbers of activities to support people who are uncomfortable with like just going into the university bar and chatting with a bunch of strangers. Like
Absolutely.
that certainly didn't work for me.
No.
But in fact, later this afternoon, we're doing a session with student confidence. Anita Van Rooyen, we're
Amazing.
talking about making confident decisions. And Anita runs the most awesome workshops for people about building confidence and finding your people and networking. So you'll find these sorts of things at university as long as you look for it and you go and get involved, just like you've said, Jemima. You know,
Absolutely.
and in the end, if you don't get involved, there's only one person to blame, and that's you. Like, so all you have to do is give it a go, you know?
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Yeah. And that's exactly right. And I think take the pressure off in the sense of like, don't feel like you need to find people, but putting yourself out there is such a big thing, and you should be proud of yourself for doing that. I don't think I don't know a lot of people who are just like, oh, I'd love to go and chat to a room of strangers. Just like keep that in mind, right? Like other people are going to be awkward and other people are going to be like waiting for someone to come and say hi. The worst thing that happens is you feel like a bit of an idiot, and that's okay. Like we all feel like that. Like it's fine. And then you move on, but you can like say to yourself in confidence, you know what? I went up and I tried something. It didn't work. Fine. But like you will always regret not actually giving yourself a chance, right? Like giving someone else a chance to have a conversation. Like it's uni is like most people go in without knowing a lot of people, and like it's just that's your opportunity. I think your opportunity is very much within the first few weeks or few months to just start, putting yourself out there, and you will like find opportunities. It's just about like just take the pressure off. There's just so much pressure on people,
Yeah,
you know what I
exactly.
mean? Like just take the pressure off. Like it's okay if you feel socially awkward. It's okay if you feel introverted. You know what, give it a go and then reward yourself. You know what, be like, you know what, I did so well today. I went and had a conversation with someone and I started that conversation, and that is amazing. And just like reward yourself for little things. Like you need to feel like it's okay to not necessarily like win every time you put yourself out there, because that's just a part of life, and you're going to be a lot happier at uni if you just give yourself a go. Yeah, for sure.
We spent a bit of time on this, but it is important. Like making friends is literally the number one concern of people going into university. Statistically, number one concern is like, will I make friends? How do I make friends? Will I find the right
Yeah.
people? And yeah, you might not find them right off the bat, but they are there. And as long
Yeah.
as you keep looking, you'll get there. But maybe just moving on. So let's talk about sort of like the life at uni, and because uni, some of it's about classes or doing projects. You got assignments. What's that kind of balance like, Jemima? Now, obviously, you come from a fairly specific lens. You've been talking about performing arts, where you're kind of doing more project kind of work. But can you talk about that balance between, like formal classes, whatever they look like, and the work that you need to do, and maybe social stuff as well?
Okay, like work-life balance.
Yeah, basically, study life work balance.
I'm the wrong person to talk to. No, I'm kidding.
Is that right?
No, look,
No,
I
be
think
honest. Like, yeah, tell us about your experience.
well, I touched on it
Were you just like
before.
all in?
No, I just like there is no like limit for performing arts, because like when we were doing a play, I was like, I hate how I'm doing this character. I don't know what I'm doing, and I would just like punish myself. Like I would just drill it and drill it and drill it and just like spend nights and weekends at school trying to do it right. Whereas other people didn't stress that much about it. And that's honestly the way to be, I think. Like not to not care, but to not stress. Like just, I don't know, just trust that it's all going to be okay. It's like one of those things where like socializing and tending to your mental health make you better at university. You know what I mean? Like I think sometimes people feel like, oh, I don't want to go for a drink, with friends, or like I don't want to like go to this like whatever this club that's happening because I need to study. And I rarely meet people who are happy that are just constantly studying, myself included, because it's important, right? It's important to actually be like, you know what, I'm going to do a little bit of this, and then I get to reward myself. I get to go for a walk, I get to speak with a friend, I get to go out for a drink with some people at uni. Like that's important time. And I don't want people to think it's not important, because that is the balance that you need to hold if you want to maintain a healthy uni life. I think obviously, you know, do the work, right? Like make sure that you go through all of your content for your course, and make sure that you do the work to understand it and to be able to respond to it in your own way. But also outside, like give yourself boundaries. I think boundaries are so important. And I think I struggled from coming from a very a place, like a very structured place, which was high school, to a place where you kind of have free reign, right? It's like, you know, okay, well, this is your material and go off and, you know, like get it back to me at some point. People, I think, like they thrive with structure, because it's like, okay, I understand that there's a timeline and there's like, you know, there's boundaries to play within. And so when you're outside of that, it can be quite daunting. So give yourself your own structure, right? Like tell yourself, okay, I need to work on this. I'm just going to do, like, regardless of what happens, even if you're struggling with something, I'm going to put on the timer for an hour and I'm going to like read over this and I'm going to write my notes about it. And then after that, like regardless of how much I've accomplished, I'm going to go for a walk or I'm going to meet someone. You know what I mean? Like it's, you kind of need to hold that balance and hold yourself accountable for that, because otherwise you'll just be stressed and you won't actually enjoy uni life. And uni life is all about enjoyment. It's about learning and exploring and meeting people that are on the same journey as you. So I think definitely like allow time for social life and for your like mental health breaks, because that overall is going to keep you sane at university for sure.
Yeah, I think that's true. Like, I love how you framed that. Once again, I love university life for this, is that you've got all different types of people. You've got the people that will sit in the first week class, you know, so like depending on which uni, you know, you might be doing anywhere from a 6-week block of classes right up to like 13 weeks. And at the start of those classes, they tell you what the workload's going to be. You know, maybe you've got a test in week 3 and an assignment in week 6 and a performance in week 12. So all of this is laid up in front. And some people will go straight out of first class, they'll go straight down to the library and they'll start working on their assignments.
Oh yeah.
Most normal human beings will probably procrastinate.
Oh yeah.
True.
Yeah.
A lot of people. Then you've got the other people who'll do nothing until the night before, and then will literally pull an all-nighter for 2 or 3 nights in order to get that work done. So you have the full spectrum there.
Yeah.
And it's up to you. This is part of the exploration, is figuring out where you sit on that spectrum.
Absolutely.
To me, the one thing that I think is critical to remember is that if you are struggling with something, if there is something that you find hard or that's upsetting you, universities have incredible support services. Whether that's because the content is too hard, you're struggling with the content, they have peer assisted study sessions. Mental health, they've got mental health psychologists and practitioners to support you. Physical health, you need time out, they've got gyms like for you to go and do sport.
Absolutely.
The services are there if you look for them and if you ask for help.
Absolutely. Yeah, you're absolutely right. I think it's about being able to ask for help, right? I think I don't know if it's an Australian thing. I think sometimes we feel a little bit like, oh no, like I'll be right. You know, you just kind of like push it down. And I think that is quite problematic, because I even, like, you know, when I was at university at WAPA, I saw a psychologist regularly that was provided by the university, because it just helped me cope in a place, you know, where I was away from family and I was struggling with tasks or I was struggling socially and I needed someone to talk to. Like like I hope that people don't feel stigmatized when they go out and do it, because it's like, you're just taking care of yourself the same way that you have a shower because you need to be clean. Like you go to see a psychologist because you want your brain to be free for your studies, for your social life, for just you, for yourself to like feel good and feel happy every day waking up. Like you need to feel like you can access those things and you should access those things. Yeah, I guess same with physical health. Is like a lot of the time I think like people get mental health problems because they're not dealing with their body, right? They're not actually like going out and do something that you care about. Like, you know, I hate cardio, so like I do yoga because it's like, for me, it's like I'm moving my body and I feel good. I mean, obviously cardio is good for you and like I will do it eventually. But like, you know, do something that makes you happy. Like I love walking. So like if you're like a walking person or if you like playing sports, like there are so many teams, right? There's like, you know, at my uni there was a netball team that would meet up every week. Like there are so many avenues for you to take care of yourself, and in doing so take care of, you know, your productivity. You're going to be more productive if you're happy and if you feel well than if you just like, you know, get in a little like hole about, you know, everything that's happening and you don't know how to get out. So like know that there are so many services that you can access whilst you're at university, and you should access them.
The way I like to look at it is that asking for help, and we don't do it because we feel a bit like a failure, right? Like
Yeah.
I'm failing at my subject, I'm failing to be strong in my mental health,
Yeah.
I'm a failure. Flip that over.
Mm.
Like you're actually helping, you're making it somebody else's problem. You know what I mean? Like it's actually effective delegation. You're actually going out and you're giving that to someone else and you're saying,
Yeah.
here we go. Here's all the stuff that I'm struggling with. Now you need to go and do something about it to help make it easier
Absolutely.
for me.
Mhm.
Those support services are there and you should delegate to them.
Absolutely. Yeah. There's the saying, a problem shared is a problem halved. It's so true. It doesn't mean that like anything tangible has happened about the problem you have, but putting it out there is like such a like, you know, what's it called? A well-needed release for your brain, you know, to just be like, okay, maybe it's not so scary if I say it out loud. Maybe I can deal with this now. And I think people forget that, you know, things just build up. They don't go away. They're not going to magically go away. It's something you need to feel happy to share. And I think, yeah, it can be a thing where you feel like you're failing if you're not just like getting on with things. Like it's just not true. Like I think people want to help. Like I've realized this is something I'm just coming to terms with. Like people want to help 9 out of 10 times. Like you might have someone who, you know, for whatever reason, they're dealing with their own stuff, doesn't want to be there, and that's okay. You know, there's not always going to be like everyone's going to be there, but like people who, you know, are part of university who are on campus to help for the, you know, for the express purpose of helping you, they want to help. You know, they're going to be thrilled that you've reached out and said, you know what,
Probably get paid for.
yeah, exactly. So use it. Yeah, it's exactly like they're there because they want to help. And I think just the belief that people want to help, and that's the same as social situations. Like people want to help you if you say, oh, you know, I'd love to join your club, or if I'd love to like, you know, like have lunch with you today. Like people want to help 9 out of 10 times. If they don't, then let it go. You know, that has nothing to do with you. People want to help, let them help you.
Yeah. People who don't are a douche, so just you don't want to be around them anyway.
Exactly.
Okay.
You're just like weeding out all the bad ones.
I'm just going to say it, call it out. Okay, so, I mean, we've talked about like what it's like to be in class. We talked about a bit on campus life, socializing, making friends. Talked about a whole bunch of different stuff. One of the things I'd love to get to, Jemima, because this is something that you did really well, is like the other opportunities that university has to offer up. So I'd love to talk about your experience going and doing an exchange program, and about the new Colombo Plan scholarship as well.
Yes.
We've probably got about 5 to 10 minutes left, so I'd just love to dive into this because it's the best.
Like it was a
Best
highlight
class.
of my life, not even of my like study life. So like absolutely. And for anyone who wants to hear about NCP, Rob has an amazing amazing series of videos about it on YouTube. I feel like it's still there. Yes.
Still up there somewhere, yeah. So New Colombo
Find it.
Plan is a scholarship program from the Australian government. Probably the best opportunity, if it's for you. Scholarships up to 110, sorry, wait for this, $110,000 for you to go and travel around the Indo-Pacific, have a study experience, do an internship or a practical placement, get mentored. It is utterly wild. New Colombo Plan is what you want to look up. But maybe let's hone in like on the exchange component of that, Jemima, because that's something that's really accessible to just about, well, to a lot more people than the NCP, which is, you know, is a bit more limited. Yeah, you have to win the scholarship. Whereas exchange, most students or a lot of students can actually go and do an exchange.
Absolutely. I'll be speedy. Do it. Just do it. Honestly, like it changed my life. It turned things upside down for me. Like it was like educationally, socially was such a big part, and culturally, like you get to experience what you're doing, but in a different culture. And that's amazing. Like, you cannot buy that. It was very much a whim for me. I was like, oh, okay. Like, it would be a great opportunity to go overseas for 3 months. But I don't know, like I had other things going on at the moment. Like at that time, I was like, okay, I'll just, like, on a whim, I'll submit it. And I got it. And I thought, and again, right, it's so like accessible because a lot of students are eligible for the exchange. So don't stress about it being like super competitive. It is something that is accessible to everyone. So just know that. I went and like I had such a low expectation about it. I thought, oh, it'll be fun. I'm going to Singapore for the first time. Great. Amazing. That changed my trajectory of, what I want to do and who I want to be as an artist. And that was like, you just can't, you really can't explain how valuable that experience is. And so anyone who has even the slightest interest in changing your life, in, seeing a different culture, seeing a different way of expressing what you're doing, do it. Like, for the life of you, go and do it. You do get a decent amount of funding for it, so like a lot of it is mostly not out of pocket. So it's a chance for you to get a funded experience overseas that could potentially change the trajectory of your career. So go for it.
There's every university is slightly different the way it works, but you've got these different types of experiences. In fact, we're doing a whole session of it a little bit later in the week. I'm doing that with Amy Ryan from the University of Sydney, and we're talking about all the different types of international study experiences that you can have as part of a university experience. Some of them are very short. You can just do a couple of weeks. Some of them are really long, like New Colombo plan up to 19 months somewhere in the Indo-Pacific region. But Jemima, you and I were talking earlier on about how, you end up with a degree, you're one of many.
Oh.
You end up with a couple of degrees, you're one of fewer. You end up with a degree and a club experience and an overseas exchange and an internship. I mean, there you're starting to become a lot more unique and employable when it comes to going and getting that job at the end.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, that's exactly it. Like, you've got to make yourself stand apart from other applications. So if not for just the experience in itself, which is life-changing, do it for the fact that you're going to put that on your resume and people are going to look at you and say, okay, this person knows a little bit. They know about the world and they've gone out and, made an effort to connect with another culture and this, the Indo-Pacific region, and, in a way that can benefit Australia. I think that's the main part of the, the NCP. They really make sure that it targets connections between us and our neighboring regions. And that is like, what's it called? Priceless. Let's go with that.
That's a TM, trademarked by a credit card company. Very, very nice. Last kind of couple, we're coming sort of towards the end here, but just a couple of questions. Firstly, anything else in your uni experience that was maybe a little bit different or unexpected? And then I see a sideways from that. Is there anything that, looking back, you didn't do when you were at uni that maybe in retrospect you're like, that would have been kind of cool if I'd gotten involved in something, or just leave that open to take where you want.
Totally. I would say it's not necessarily something I didn't do. It was something I wasn't as a person. I think I would just encourage people, like, it's scary. Life is scary. Going out there is scary. Socializing, being a part of a new course and learning new things. It's all very overwhelming. Like, the buzzword here is just brave. Be brave, and that does not mean be successful. I think that's the thing that I struggled with. I was like, I have to be good to share something, I have to, like, if I don't try, then I don't fail. Be brave, it doesn't matter, if you put yourself out there and it doesn't work out, or you feel embarrassed, or, like, you don't necessarily get the response you want. Be brave. Just go out there and do it, because that's the only thing I look back on. I look back on my time at uni, and I was a bit younger then, I've had some life experience and I feel a little bit more inside myself and happy with myself. But at the time I was just a bit like, it's just all too scary. And I would have loved to have been in that experience again, a little bit wiser, and felt like, you know what? I'm just going to use every part of this experience to my benefit, and like, who cares what happens? I think we had this conversation last time. It was like, who cares, you know?
Yeah.
Not as in like, you know, I'm not going to make an effort, but as who cares what happens? As long as you're putting yourself out there and you're being brave, then you're winning, like, as far as I'm concerned. So be brave and just do it. Just do it. Nike, that's a trademark.
That is a trademark. And it's funny because, you know, in some of the classes when you're at uni, you are going to see like the mature age students, like my age or even older.
Absolutely.
And, you know, they're there and they're enthusiastic. Like they're sitting down the front and they're participating because they really want to be there. They want to learn, they want to meet people, and they send everybody up the frickin' wall. So, you know, you don't have to be that. You don't have to be that extreme. This is literally just about a journey of discovery. And I would say that that's probably the biggest takeaway for me, having walked in this space for 25 years, is that there's this impression I'm going into a Bachelor of Economics. Therefore, at the end, I'm going to walk out and I'm going to be an economist. And it looks like this is a freaking concrete pillar that can't be shaken or moved. And it's just a load of crap. Like, there is absolutely no defined path. Even if you're in that Bachelor of Economics, you will discover things, you'll find things that you go, oh, that's really interesting. You'll find things that bore the hell out of you. And it's that constant process of just like finding things that you enjoy, that you're interested in, and doing more of that.
Absolutely.
And the stuff that you don't enjoy, do less of it. And goodness knows, it might end up leading you to London at nearly 6 o'clock in the morning. Once again, talking to random people back in Australia. But like, just to wrap up, Jemima, like your journey has been really organic. You've followed your nose. You've pushed yourself. You've tried things. Stuff hasn't worked out. You've ended up in freaking India for a number of years. Like that was never on, you know, Frankston Jemima's radar, was it? Let's be honest.
Not at all. Oh, absolutely. Like that's the thing. Like just follow your gut is the main thing, right? Trust yourself. Like I think you don't need to know exactly what you want to do, but go out and try something. And the worst thing that happens is you discover something else, and that's a massive win. So just go out there, just do it, be brave, try things, fail at things. That's just all part of the experience. And you will find your right path because of that.
My guest has been Jemima Dunn, actress, performer, musician, all-around legend. What I've done, Jemima, I hope you don't mind, but down in the session description, I've dropped some of your handles. So if people want to look you up and find out what you're up to, it's down there below. Sorry I haven't got to any questions, but I've been self-indulgent here. I haven't caught up with you in a long time, so it's nice to just hear more of your story.
I love it.
And I don't know if we, no, I didn't mention this in the conversation. I'm going to be in London later in the year, so I look forward to catching up with you for a large pint of a refreshing ale somewhere in a London pub.
Absolutely. Oh my God, call me. I'll be here. Let's do it.
For the first time in many years that we've probably, I don't think we've even met in person before. We've only ever talked online. So
yes, for the first time.
That's what higher education is good for.
Exactly. Let's make it happen.
Thanks so much for joining me at the National Virtual Expo. It's been great chatting with you.
Oh, thank you. So good to see you again.
And so for those of you watching along, thanks so much for joining me. Any of the questions that have come in throughout this session, they'll all be put into the Discord, into the Facebook group, and we'll be making sure we answer absolutely everything. And once again, the full session catalogue is down below. It's loaded full of amazing stuff. This afternoon, we've got great sessions on building your confidence, about making decisions. So some of this stuff that Jemima and I have been speaking about, this is a great session to help you develop confidence to make a decision confidently. We've also got a great session on managing money as a school leaver. And Jemima, I think you and I both know that managing your money is kind of important when you love to travel.
Don't miss that session.
So that's going to be really good too. And alongside we've got sessions on every single university and all the other stuff like gap years, traveling as part of your degree, different study areas. This is a massive week, and I'll be seeing you throughout. So thanks for joining us at this session. Thanks a lot again, Jemima.
No worries.
I got my first grade at uni, and I just laughed out loud. it wasn't just a pass, I actually got a high distinction, and I'd always done terrible at school. I did the PSP course at SEU, which gave me like the foundations of what you need to be able to study at uni, and I didn't fail that, got good grades, so I was like, hey, we'll keep going. Studied a bachelor in psych, did all right, so I kept going and got into honours, and now I'm writing a thesis. Getting that first grade was the first time that I felt like I can actually do this, and it has led me to get to where I am now, and I'm really grateful of it.
Well, I hope you got something out of this session. And if you have any questions at all, you can head to choosingyouruni.com and ask Lumen. Lumen is your AI guide who knows about every university, every pathway, every option that we've talked about throughout this virtual expo. And Lumen is available to talk to you 24/7. So it's ready when you are.